uh, the topic for obviously for the presentation is on customer service, which is actually very close to my heart, and that is why I actually decided to choose this topic. And I know for some of us, customer service is an issue, and we know that customer service is the support you offer your customers from the moment they first contact your library to the months and years afterwards. But I know for a fact that some libraries are also battling when it comes to customer service, because not many of the new generation staff are actually aware of how they should, this is a very sensitive topic, of how they should be actually dealing with customers. And we all know that libraries have a rich tradition of solid customer service. Good service today, however, is often not good enough. You can go into a library today, and sometimes you are not even acknowledged or respected at times as well. So I think this topic is a good topic for conversation for today as well. So just a brief overview of customer service is one of the most consistently popular topics, right? It is clear that customer service is on the minds of library staff. The interest extends beyond how to provide quality service to patrons, to experiencing societal changes and seeking to address new challenges that staff encounter when working. How we provide customer service includes not only how we interact with patrons verbally and respond to their request, but also how we communicate non-verbally in our interactions, and even how we speak about patrons when they are around. So just for the agenda, our agenda today will be on the purpose of a library, library ethics, and common customer service challenges. And I want to open it up to the floor on what do we think a library, the purpose of the library in a community is. What also you can respond to what services are you providing in your library, and what's different about a library compared to other customer service jobs. So I'd like to open it out to everyone to communicate with a show of hands. You can either put it into the chat group, or you can just verbally, communicate. So the first one is, what is the purpose of a library in the community? I'm opening the conversation out to everybody on this platform today. I know it may sound silly, but the reason I ask this is just for us to start thinking of what is our purpose of our library? How can we change things around? And nobody is answering. I'm wondering, can I be heard? Can everybody hear me? Claudette?
Hi, Sunita. Hello, everybody. I'm terribly sorry. I just want to ask a question. I do recall you saying something about popping it in the chat, or do you want us to unmute and engage?
You can, if you're too shy to speak, you can just pop it in the chat, but it'll be nice to hear everyone's voices this morning.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. If I could just add my 2 cents, I just wanted to say, your community will define your purpose. So essentially, depending on what your community is, your users will actually define the way you serve them. And I think that is the key purpose for me. The purpose of the library is service. Service for, the provision of information and information literacy and that kind of stuff. So that's just a small bit from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudette. I've got Albert, who says to serve the needs of the users. I've got Heidi to provide access to free information for everyone in the community. I've got Lindy, the library should provide access to all types of information resources to all members of the community in line with specific needs. Anyone else would like to have to comment? Okay, yes, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, we are all well aware of the importance of our library, the purpose of the library, right? The libraries are at the crux of both social and is the crux of both physical and social infrastructure. A crossroad where intellectual and information meet space and access, a place where social services are actualized and people are put above profit. And that is what we need to understand, right? Libraries are community considered educational institutions, providing students and researchers the tools and resources they need to learn and study. In fact, libraries have been dubbed the People's University for their equitable nature, bringing information and education to all people, regardless of socioeconomic status, right? But libraries are also more than just that as well. We find we accommodate homeless people, we accommodate people of all religious backgrounds. We serve people with different needs, special needs as well. We accommodate every single body. There's no one that's excluded from our services. And in saying that, us as libraries, we play so many different roles as social workers, as doctors, nurses, whatever it may be. We are there fulfilling that role, providing information, giving advice as well. So the library has so many different services that we offer. It is not one-dimensional, right? As we've got Sobram over here who says a meeting point for different groups. Example, pensioners, ratepayers, sporting groups, right? It serves a recreational purpose and lifelong learning center. Library should contribute in student success when it comes to academic information needs, recreational and lifelong learning to community that it is serving. All of this is what libraries are, and even more. I know during the pandemic where libraries also assisted as spots for even as distribution of a feeding scheme. So libraries do so much more, but we don't even brag about it, neither do we even advertise about it. So libraries are a huge contribution. They make a huge contribution to society at large, especially in our communities, right? My next question I wanted to touch on was, what's different about a library compared to other customer service jobs? And this is very important for us to actually just think about it. What's different about a library compared to other customer service jobs? I open it to the floor once again for us to have a conversation around this, because our library is definitely different in so many ways. So the question again is, what's different about a library compared to other customer service jobs? Excellent. Albert has got library services are free, while other customer service jobs are cost effective, right? So other businesses, they work for a profit. We do not work for a profit, right? Anything else? Anyone else would like to share? I really cannot see anyone's hands up, so even if you just speak, it's also fine. Vanessa from Durban, is there anything you'd like to share? I see that you're on.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm having connectivity issues on my phone. That's the reason why I wasn't responding earlier.
No problem.
Sorry, can you ask me the question again? What was your...
What is different?
Yeah, an email just popped up and I looked at it and lost track.
No problem. What's different about a library compared to other customer service jobs?
One of the major differences that I would find is because we provide a free service, our patrons seem to, if I can use the word, take advantage of us. But the service that we provide is, the major thing would be that we are a free service. So
Yes,
even though we are
excellent.
free
Yeah.
service, even though we are free service, it doesn't mean to say that we provide any less of a value of service to our customers. So our service,
100%.
our level of service of excellence should be on par or even above other customer service areas.
Yes, thank you for that, Vanessa. Good point. I've got you, Lindy, who says that there's often ongoing support that I've forged. I just want to check quickly. We've got Lindy who says no membership required to enter the library and you can use the service and facilities for free. We've got Lindy who says there are many differences, but in my opinion, libraries must also maintain an excellent level of customer service, just like any other business. Otherwise, the library will not be used by the community. We got Vuyokazi who says libraries must invest knowledge clients, whereas other business services is about what they can benefit from clients. We share or transfer information without expecting anything in return, from Esther. Libraries are inclusive, excellent, from Magwaza. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think we all have the gist of it. I think what also differs us from a normal business is that we deal with so many different things. We're not one directional. When it comes to information, it is so broad. We are providing, basic information from what is happening in the municipality to information, academic information. You know, it is so, we are so multifaceted that we work beyond boundaries as well. We go out of our way to provide a service. And when I say we go out of our way to provide a service, in the sense that we don't put limits, we don't limit ourselves. We try to do the best at what we do. Especially, for example, a typical example I'll give you is I know of a library that when they realized that children were going hungry to school, immediately they were on board to open a little soup kitchen. So in the morning, children could have their porridge on their way to school. So libraries provide various services. We are not only just providing just only information, right? We also open our doors out to, like it was said earlier on, to different organizations to come and utilize our library. We provide the space for them. We offer drama classes. We offer poetry sessions. We offer so many different things. And that is what is unique and different about a library. And I've got Bungisa here, who says the purpose of a library is to support the information needs of the community served. As a specialized academic library, the service offered to support. So we don't only just provide information, we are providing so many different services. But key over here is how are we retaining our customers? Do we acknowledge our customers only for that specific time, or do we give such a great service for long term? That customers must continue to come back? Do customers give referrals about the library? But ultimately, it comes on to what are we doing in our libraries? How are we approaching customers? How are we helping them? What sort of service are we giving them, right? And I want to go back to basics. And our back to basics is very important, especially for new librarians as well. I'm sure old ones like myself is already acquainted with policies and procedures, but let's just touch on it lightly, and then we'll open the floor for conversation once again, right? So I've looked at the American Library Association Code of Ethics. I've looked at the Library Bill of Rights. I've looked at Raghunathan's 5 Laws of Library Services, and I've included the South African Library Service Transformation Charter. It was important to go through all of these here to understand exactly how customer service should be delivered, how we should be working in our libraries. And we find that when people are now inducted into the workplaces, they are not briefed on policies and procedures. They've gone to university, they've done their degrees or diplomas, but when they come into the workplace, no one gives them a refresher of what is expected from them. And sometimes I think this is a possibility that this may be the problem why our service standards have actually dropped in a lot of libraries. I mean, I have visited within KZN, I've gone to some places, I've gone to a library, and sometimes it's sad to say that you don't get the service that you actually expect, right? So just a brief overview, let's just go over the ethics, right? We provide the highest level of service to all library users through appropriate and useful organized resources, equitable service policies, equitable access, and accurate, unbiased, and courteous response to all requests. And this is something that I find that we all need to redress, look at what is the shortfall that we are experiencing in our libraries. How can we change things? How can we make things better? And especially when you look at equitable access, are we complying to service standards as well? You know, are we unbiased? Are we courteous? I mean, this goes also, you'll see it ties in with Barter Pele principles as well, that we should treat everybody fairly and equally. As soon as people come into our library, our customers come in, people should not be busy or pretending to be busy. I mean, a smile, a good morning, how are you, good day, you know, just to be gentle and kind and empathetic, seeing to the person's needs. You find that sometimes you go into a library, people are so busy, there's no attention to the customer because they're busy with their cell phones or they're busy on the computer, desktop, just busy doing other things instead of paying attention to our customers, right? We need to also keep in mind that no matter whatever people's backgrounds or races or language they are speaking, we need to accommodate them. We need to ensure that if we cannot speak the language, get someone to actually come and help us, or we can translate so that we know what it is that they want. Whatever religion they are as well, we cannot not allow them access because of who they are. We need to ensure that everybody receives equal access, right? The second one is we uphold the principles of intellectual freedom and resist all efforts to censor library resources, right? Intellectual freedom is basically the right of library users to read, seek information, and speak freely as guaranteed by the right? Intellectual freedom is one of the core values of the library profession. It promotes access to information and guides and defends against censorship. The third one, we respect intellectual property rights and advocate balance between the interests and information of users and right holders. And it is important here as well, if we look at it, and we think about this, and what are we doing in our libraries, right? Libraries share materials and preserve works under specific provisions for libraries in the Act. Libraries are often the only entities that provide access to a vast majority of copyright works that lose market vitality long before the expiration of copyrights, and are often the only entities that preserve public domain materials. But you will find in some libraries, this is not being adhered to, it is not being respected. people don't even, you'll find, which is also a point over here as well, is that people don't know how to maintain their collections. Because they've got heaters on a very cold day, the heaters are blaring hot, which actually they don't understand actually damages materials. And if materials are damaged, what do we have then? We protect each other. Next point is we protect each other, each library user's right to privacy and confidentiality with respect to information sought or received and resources consulted, borrowed, acquired, or transmitted. And this is, I find that when people are coming to register, we are not allowed to surely free the information. Our database should not be shared with anybody because it is people's privacy, the right to privacy and confidentiality is not to inform other people of what this borrower has taken out or on the details as well. We should respect that and not speak about it. We should treat co-workers and other colleagues with respect, fairness, good faith, and advocate conditions of employment that safeguard the rights and welfare of all employees of our institute. This is very important, right? And I find that people have forgotten the sense of professionalism in the workplace. If they have an argument or an issue with a colleague or co-worker, you'll find they will not talk to that person. You will find that they will be disrespectful. They will speak about that person to other people. And this should not be done, right? When we come into the workplace, we need to know that we are professionals and people lack this. They want to take everything personal, right? So we need to remember that in the workplace with our colleagues, no matter what disagreement we have, it should be resolved immediately. And if it cannot be resolved immediately, it needs to, obviously, you need to get an intervention from a supervisor or someone else to come in, or the human resource officer to come in and sort the issue out. But the issue needs to be dealt with and forgotten. And for the two individuals or whoever is having an issue with each other to move past the issue. Not to stop talking to the person and to disrespect the person or speak about them to other people as well, which is absolutely wrong, right? Goes against conditions of employment, right? And when there's an issue between co-workers as well, you'll find this affects the work environment. And if it affects the work environment, it will automatically affect service delivery as well. You'll find, and I've seen this as well, is there's an incident I will give over here where two co-workers had a disagreement. They did not speak for a year. And the result of this was that the library service actually suffered because communication was a no-go on both sides to each other. So this actually sends a bad image of your library service, of your institute as well, because not providing a good service to customers when they come in. So we have to be very careful that when we have an issue within ourselves as well, we need to sort it out as quick as possible and put our differences aside for the betterment of service delivery and the people that we are serving as well. The next point of view we have is we do not advance private interests at the expense of library users, colleagues, or our employing institution. Very simple. We do not, if we feel that no, it's my turn to go for tea, I drop everything, whether the customer is there, whether it's our colleagues who's there or whatever, and without even having the courtesy to ask them, is it okay that I leave? Can you help me? I was busy with the customer, but please just take over, right? There is a private interest that we are more worried about, right? I'm giving you just a brief one, but there are other private interests where people who study at work, they concentrate more on their own, their studies, their assignments, helping their family members out, a lot of other things, instead of doing what is supposed to be done, and which is obviously providing a service to customers, doing your job to the best of your ability, ensuring that you are getting paid for what you're there for. And that is bottom line. And that is why it's so important for us to have refresher courses on customer service, because a lot of times we tend to put our personal interests first. And it's happened to a lot of us. We'll even tend to help family members before we help our customers out. So we need to just recheck, rethink the way we do things, and come back to why we're here. What are we here? What service are we here to provide? The next point, we distinguish between our personal convictions and professional duties, and do not allow our personal beliefs to interfere with fair representation of the aims of our institutions or the provision of access to the information resources, right? Simply, we don't allow our personal beliefs, our backgrounds, our whatever we have that we have been taught to affect our customer service, right? We don't. We need to know that we're in a professional institute. Know the policies of your institute. What is it that you stand for, right? We know that we provide access to all. So if we know this basic Aubatu-Pele principles, it means simply that everybody and everyone is allowed into the library, and we should be providing the best service to everybody, no matter of their race, color, creed, or their beliefs. And it's simple as that. The next point, we strive for excellence in the profession by maintaining and enhancing our own knowledge and skills, by encouraging the professional development of co-workers, and by fostering the aspirations of potential members of the profession. Striving for excellence in the profession and maintaining and enhancing our own knowledge and skills. And this simply means that we need to be, LIASA is an excellent platform, as an example. We are always having workshops, right? You go onto the website as well. There's so much of information out there that we can learn from. But besides us also learning, whatever it is, we need to also have many workshops within our own organizations. Start having skills development programs, whether it's in the morning for a short period of time, refresher programs, just to ensure that people are still learning, they're still knowledgeable, they're changing the ways they are doing things. And this is why we learn. We learn to expand our knowledge and to do things better. And especially in our library services today, we really have to work extra hard to make sure that we are doing different things. We're not doing the same things all the time. And there's so much of information. You go onto IFLA website, you go onto AFLIA website. There's so much of information. There's so much of knowledge out there, and things that people are doing that are different from us. You know, I can tell you, like, I may be doing a poetry program in my library, but you may not know how to do that poetry program. So get people to come in, workshop you, ask other librarians, how are you doing this program? How can I do it? Come and help me. That is what it's all about. It's us being currently informed and ensuring that we are working all the time differently. We are being creative, we are being innovative, and changing the way we are doing things. The next point, we affirm the inherent dignity and rights of every person. We work to recognize and dismantle systematic and individual biases, to confront inequity and oppression, to enhance diversity and inclusion, and to advance racial and social justice in our libraries, communities, profession, and associations, through awareness, advocacy, education, collaboration, services, and the allocation of resources and spaces. And this point here tells you exactly what makes libraries different from other organizations, is that we have so much to do. We've got to play so many different roles, right? We don't only just provide information, we host programs to develop our communities, right? We go and meet different stakeholders, be it the mayor's office, be it the normal lay person, or be it church, the church organizations. We collaborate with so many different people, right? We offer so many different spaces to be utilized within our libraries as well. So we need to know, we need to recognize right? We need to fight for things. I mean, the burning of libraries. I mean, how many of us have actually spoken up about this? You know, xenophobia. I mean, my community over here, there's a high, there's like, you know, there's a high rate of xenophobia in the area. These are the things we talk about. What are we doing about it? Are we just like in our libraries just worried about one type of service, or can we make a difference in society as well with our communities, right? How can we advance racial and social justice? We need to think about this here. And this is very important because even our transformation charter speaks about us librarians working to our full potential to try and make a difference in our community, to try and change people's lives. And there are so many ways we can do that. If we go on to Google, just go on to Google and check what other libraries are doing towards community development. And you'll get a huge amount of information coming through. And then we just need to copy, edit, and paste and try and help our communities as well. I'm not going to go over the Bill of Rights because we are already gone into time, because I want us to have a more of an open discussion. And I'm sure you can get my slide from Apalele. So let me just touch on Raghunathan's law. I mean, this was something that I learned in university, and it still sticks with us. And 5 basic rules of law, right? Books are for use. Every reader his or her book. Every book its reader. Save the time of the reader. The library is a growing organism. I'm not going to go over the first 4, but I'd love to go over the last one, the library being a growing organism, right? Which is the 5th law, which means that the library should be a dynamic institution that is never static in its outlook. Raghunathan identifies 2 types of growth: growth that increases the quantity of items in the library's collection, and growth that improves the collection overall quality through the replacement of materials. Books, methods, and the physical library should be updated over time. There needs to be a consideration of growing physical space, but in the 21st century, this has come to mean the multiple platforms a collection can encompass, right? Multiple formats, meaning that we are in the 4th industrial revolution. We need to change the way we are doing things, right? Start offering computer classes. Start doing things differently. Our whole world is going now more into technology, right? We need ourselves to start finding out what is robotics, what is coding, and we need to start holding our training, computer workshops, start enabling our communities, start strengthening them when it comes to technology. So remember, a library as a growing organism is such a broad meaning we can do so many things. We can grow our library, but it can never be a growing organism if we are only one directional, if we are only there just to provide book material. We're just over there to do a search quickly and give the child from the internet. No, we need to do other things. We need to step out of the box. We need to start other programs which is in line with social justice. So we need to really start thinking out of the box, really ensure that our library is a growing organism, not only with our books in it, also with people in it, and also with the programs that we do. And the only way that we'll have people in our libraries, if we start doing different things in our libraries, if we start turning our libraries to accommodate and to bring people into the library services. There are some libraries the circulation stats are very low. You go into slums, you check there, you'll see the circulation stats for a month. You'll be surprised. Only 20 books are being loaned out. Why? And that is a serious question that I always ask when I look at these things. Why? What is wrong with that library? Because to my understanding, if people are in the community, they will always have needs. If we consult with our community, we know exactly what it is that they want. So when circulation stats are dwindling, you have to ask why. What is it that I can do? How can I make a difference? How can I change it? How can I bring people back into our libraries? And are we asking ourselves these questions, or are we just sitting back and letting it just be because people are not coming there? So our library will never be a growing organism. It is our attitude that can help it to be a growing organism. So there's a lot to be spoken about when it comes to our library service and the way that we provide a service. I want to touch on Bartopele principle, which is my driving force. I always refer back to it. I'm actually the champion for Bartopele principle because I hold this dear to my heart. And just let's just go over it briefly, right? We know Bartopele principle means putting people first. Putting people first before our own interest, right? And the government has stipulated that the service delivery must be transformed in order to create satisfied customers. Departmental libraries form part of the public sectors that must transform service delivery through the application of Bartopele principles. And this is what is stated in the Transformation Charter, right? Departmental libraries are expected to provide staff with information that specifically addresses the immediate needs, which may in turn contribute to the development of social well-being and economic stability of the country. Right? And then we wonder, what is this? What is this now? What is the social well-being and economic stability of the country? How do we go about doing it? Some of us are already doing it, but the programs that we are hosting in our libraries, we are already there. We've already initiated so many programs. We just don't think about how what effect it is having, what is the outcome, what is the impact. And that is why it's so important when we are doing programs in our library, market what you're doing, inform people what you're doing, because some of us are actually doing very, very good work. And people don't know about it because we are not posting it, we are not putting it on social media, we are not putting it on the LIASA newsletter. I mean, there's so many various platforms that we can market ourselves and what we are doing. And besides, we need to share what we are doing to help other libraries to get to know, okay, I can do this, you know. Every program we do in our libraries has a great impact on our communities, and we fail to see this. Bartopele principle commits public sectors to serve all customers effectively and efficiently. And the Constitution of the Republic supports this by saying that everyone has the right of access to information and the right to use his or her language. And this is exactly what the ethics for the American Library Association had to say as well, and the Bill of Rights as well. So Bartopele principle is in line with our library service charter, right? It is in line with our American Library Association with the Code of Ethics. But what is it that we are doing? You know, Bartopele says we belong, we care, we serve. And this is exactly what libraries stand for, because we are there to make a difference. We are there to change lives. We are there to work with our community, right? And we can never work with our community if we do not communicate with our community. Consultation is very important because we need to consult, we need to talk to our community. And who is our community? Our community are the people that use our library. Our community are all the stakeholders within our community. It's the education department, the health sector, the SAPS, right? And much, much more, the pastors fraternal, whatever religious organization is within your community. These are who we consulted. We consult with even the gangsters in our community. And some of you we wanted, she's even saying gangsters. And I'll tell you why we even consulted those people. Because they know what is happening in our community. They are the best people. There's people within they are the best that we get to know exactly what are the needs of our communities and what sort of programs we can even host in our communities. So we need to understand, we need to communicate and get to know what our community is about. And like I said, our stats will not be low if we communicate with our communities. Service standards. How many of us actually know what is the service standards in our libraries, in our municipalities? What are our service standards? Are even people aware within our community what level and quality to expect from our services? And I asked you, how many of you have actually spoken to your community and asked them, are they aware of what our service standards are? Have we told them? And we don't do these sort of things. We don't put up posters. We don't inform people. And we need to get into the habit of informing people what our service standards are. And in turn, we also need to meet those service standards as well, right? So remember, citizens should be aware of what level and quality to expect from our goods and services, right? From the time it will take to process a normal, simple book request, among other things. These standards should be measurable so as to know when they are going to be met, right? Especially when someone comes to us for a book loan. Don't forget about it. Make sure you also follow through with it. Those are the service standards that we set, is the following through, the redressing issues. If there's something wrong, how long is it going to take us to sort it out for them, right? Access, we know access is high on our priorities, right? Especially with us public service sectors, isn't just to provide the service. They are also to ensure that these services are easily accessible to the people they are meant for. For instance, for persons with disabilities, equipments and aids should be provided for them to access these government services, right? Very important. Some of our libraries, and I know especially our mobile libraries and things, it's very difficult to people to actually get on top and things. Our container libraries as well that has steps on them. But we need to come up with a plan. How can we help this person who's coming in there on a wheelchair? How can we get them, how can we provide a service? Think of innovative ways of doing things to get people, to give people what they actually need. But in essence, when policies and programs are implemented, all citizens should be considered, right? Those with special needs and even those in the rural communities, right? Sometimes we even have to go out of our way. And I know some of us even use our own transport to get to communities when our own organizations cannot provide us with transport, especially when we're delivering block loans, etc. We are making use of our own vehicles, and we do what we have to do, because at the end of the day, it is providing a service to our community and putting other people's needs first. Courtesy, people should be respected at all points of time, right? Public servants, that is us, should be courteous, polite, and considerate when handling the public. Are we doing this? Recheck ourselves. Are we smiling? Are we greeting people? Good morning, how are you? Are we polite to them? Are we, what does our body language say? And that is very important as our body language, because sometimes you may greet someone, but you don't always follow through with a smile, So have a emotional intelligence check. Am I right? Is my body posture right? Am I saying the right thing? Am I smiling? A lot of us tend to bring our problems into the gate of the organization. And I always tell people, whatever it is that you're going through, I know it's very difficult, but let's take off that, I call it our jacket, take out our jacket of problems, leave it at the gate, and come in with a new breath of fresh air to say, you know what, I'm here to work, I'm here to be with people, I'm here to make a difference. And we have to do that because we are working with the public. We need to put ourselves in the right mood space, in the right frame of mind to provide the best service as possible. So courtesy is very important, right? So if we're in a good mood space, we're going to obviously deal with customers better. Always think before we speak as well. Very important. Make sure that we are always saying the right things and we are always being polite. Being courteous also means if someone is speaking in their language, there's no need for you to fight to them and say, oh, I don't speak your language. Like I said as well, try and get an interpreter to step in and come and help you. This includes even when you are speaking on the phone, right? That is why it's so important for us to actually have small sessions with our staff as well, because we all tend to forget this time and time again, right? Have little sessions with your staff, go over Bartopele principles every now and then to make sure that they're also understanding where they should be and what is their position with regards to customer service. Remember, being courteous, very important as well when it comes to, we speak about social media. I know a lot of us, especially with management, we are on social media, using WhatsApp groups to communicate as well. One thing I want to do to say as well, that you are not, you don't have to be in a group, participating in a group. It is not a work requirement to be participating on a WhatsApp group. You have the right to decline and say, I would rather communicate to you via telephone, or I'd rather communicate to you via emails. You have that right, remember that. But when you are communicating on WhatsApp as well, on a social group with colleagues or whatever, please be mindful of how you speak. Sometimes out of anger, you can say the wrong things, and then really you don't want that to be used against you also. So always be mindful of how you're communicating when it comes to social media. Information is the next principle, right? The public should have accurate and full information regarding any public service. This should be done through various media available to target audience like newspapers, radios, television, social medias. We can use posters, pamphlets, and ensure that it is in the language that people can understand. So if you know your community is isiZulu and English, put it in isiZulu and English, right? Citizens should be informed of all they need to know, and also be given the avenue to ask for clarifications. So for instance, we're coming to a public holiday, make sure you have a notice out there informing people we are closed during this and this time. Should you be of urgency, here's a contact number, right? Those are things that we should be making known to the public, right? Where we are closing, we've got no water today, put up a poster, inform the public, we are closed because we have no water today, and we should be reopening tomorrow. And tomorrow you come, there's no water still, you still have to put a poster. Make sure that people are informed, and with a little apology as well. Openness and transparency, each department at all levels should be an open book. Citizens should be able to access the details of how each department is run, how decisions are made, who is in charge of what, their contact details, the vision and the mission of the department, their financial report, and more, right? We as libraries as well, we should have a library profile, which is readily available to hand out to our patrons, especially to our new patrons. We should be able to hand out to community leaders as well, so that they know exactly what our library is about, what we are offering, what resources we are having, you know, what programs we are having. Share the information. You know, if something is also going wrong, also share it, but not to bring anyone to disrepute. If your photocopier is not working, you make it known that your photocopier is not working, and you don't lie and fabricate a story and say something different, which is not true, okay? The next one is redress. Librarians should be able to address all complaints as soon as they arise, right? An apology should be offered if need be. The complaint should be looked at, or the person, the customer, referred to the appropriate quarters for redress. This calls for a sense of responsibility in the delivery of public service. Simply, this means redress, right? If there is a problem, if a customer comes in, our patrons come in and say, okay, they were here a month ago, they've requested a book, it has not been delivered, and then they're screaming, ranting, and raving. Our duty is to let the person calm down, listen to what they have to say, and try and solve the problem, right? There must have been a miscommunication somewhere along the line. We get to the bottom of it, and we try and make sure we get the information or the book that they wanted and hand it over to them. And make sure that we do apologize, right? It's very important that we also listen and not just speak up, because listening to people helps a long way, right? So we need to be responsible also in the delivery of customer service, right? We need to ensure that there's always a follow through. If there's a challenge, we must make sure that we sort it out. If one of your staff members are being rude to customers, here we go, we give them a Batupela training. That's the first step to help them out. And then the second step, if the same staff member is not, he's got the training now, he's still continuing it, then you'll give him a warning and you'll go the normal labor route. But let's redress the challenges within our organizations. We know we have a problem of our stats has dropped. Let's find out, let's consult with the community, find out why our stats has dropped out and how we can improve it, how we can change it. And the only way you can do this is by speaking to the community, speaking to your staff members to get to the bottom of the problem. That is simply what redress is about. Value for money, right? Definitely, as resources are scarce, it is important, especially now with budgets dwindling, right? It's becoming very difficult when it comes to book buying, etc., stationery and whatever. So we need to eliminate wastage, right? Corrupt practices, fraud, incompetent officials are to be curbed, right? The aim should be to produce the best possible result using the resources available. Creativity and innovations thus comes into play, right? So whilst we may, we need to make sure that we are using things to the best of our ability, we are being responsible and accountable, we don't abuse resources within the organization, right? For instance, all the staff come and they want to print out all their assignments because they are all studying and they use up the ink. What happens to the borrower that comes in, the patron that comes in? Or all the staff members now are busy on the computer because they are doing their assignments they have to submit. What happens to the patrons, right? We need to be thinking about all of this as well, because the service for the patrons is more important than staff worrying about their own interest, right? Taking away a pen, stealing a computer, stealing a laptop, it has a ripple effect within the customer service as well. So we need to be mindful of such things as well, okay? And ensure that customers are given the best service as possible, right? Innovation and reward. Innovation is also very important when it comes to barter pillar principles, okay? We need to think out of the box to work. A lot of us say that we don't have funds, we cannot do a display because we don't have money to buy display materials. But surely we can use recycling materials to do display, right? So we need to think out of the box to do other things, right? I know people have said that they cannot host major programs because they don't have promotional materials. And this is not true, right? We need to be innovative. We need to think of other ways. Yes, we can host our programs, but do we still need to give the children rulers, pencils, pens, plastic library bags? No, we don't. We can still have a program without all of those things, right? Seek your stakeholders within your community. Check how they can come on board and assist you to give different items to the children to encourage them to come to the library. So use different methods, giving the child even a little sweet something else as well. We need to be innovative and think broadly when it comes to, yes, we can continue with our programs, with our activities in the library. We do not have funds, but we'll try other means to do things in the library. And that's what customer service is all about, is us being innovative, finding different ways and methods of doing things to ensure that we have an impactful service. Just briefly, how to improve customer interaction: show empathy and gratitude, be conscientious, be transparent and communicative, ask for and act on customer feedback, which is part of redress. We know being transparent and communicative this is all part of barter pillar principles, right? Surprise and delight your customers, go where your customers are, talk like a human, and give a gift that gains their loyalty. And the biggest gift that you can give someone is information, right? I want to open it up to the floor once again before we close up. I want to ask you, what are the common customer challenges you're experiencing at your library, and how do you improve on these challenges? So what are the common customer care challenges at your library, and how do you improve these challenges? Let us share, because it helps others with similar issues as well. I open the floor to everybody. We've got Vanessa who says we work under difficult conditions with intermittent network issues and theft of computers to still provide an excellent customer service, staff using their own data to assist patrons. Anyone else? Come, guys, this is your time. Can I ask Esther Kani? Esther? Let's go to Barbara. Maybe Esther's shy. Barbara Faye? Come, guys, don't feel shy. Let's have your input.
Hi, everyone. It's Barbara here. Some of our challenges are just, having to deal with people every day, and sometimes it can be really tiring. We just need to, put a big smile on our faces sometimes, even though we're thinking this person is really. That is a challenge, I think, for staff in our libraries as well, having to deal with really difficult people.
Okay, thank you, Barbara, for that. Anna Marie, thank you for joining us. It's so good to see that you're on our platform. Anything from your side? I'm not sure if Anna Marie is still there. I see there's Heidi Skitter. Would you like to give a comment? Okay, I'll move on to Lindy. Anything from your side? Anyone, guys, come on.
Okay, this is one of the Lindy. I'm not sure which one you were referring
Okay,
to.
so that's fine.
This one is from UNISA. But the other challenge that we have with customers is the irate clients, customers who already come to the library when they're at the wrong. For us being an academic institution, they already owe a long overdue fine, but they come and start saying, they say I'm owing. And you always ask, if they say, what are you saying? In this whole, it's a relationship of the library service and you as a customer. And when every time they pointed us behind the desk as being the wrong one, where is your role in this relationship? They sort of feel that they're disgruntled. They come with entitlement, which sometimes it's not comfortable for us. Thank you.
Sorry, I just lost you there, Lindy, but thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to share?
Hi, Sunita, it's Claudette again. I'm hoping you can hear me nice and clearly.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
I just wanted to reflect on something, that we experienced at our institution. And just as a recommendation, because we've asked about our challenges, yes, we all have varied and varying types of challenges. But I think what's critically important is that our bodies or the libraries or management identifies that there are issues, and there needs to be a step up in the direction of investing in your staff. I say this because with public libraries or with any library for that matter, you're dealing with a type of client that is differently natured on every blow that you get, right? And a level of emotional intelligence is critical. It's imperative for each of us to be able to deal with conflict or with varying or different situations, according to the merit that it desires or is warranted. And equipping your staff or affording your staff or investing in your staff's ability to handle emotional situations and having the ability to distinguish between empathy and sympathy will really, really help. So going forward, I'd like to propose that, that library management invests in their staff.
No, it's the same method.
With equipping them with the necessary skills on how to deal with conflict and difficult situations. I'm mentioning this more importantly because I know at our institution we were offering these courses on emotional intelligence, and it really was quite comprehensive, and it addressed issues like stress. It addressed issues such as personality conflicts, dealing with clients, and that kind of thing. And it was really, really beneficial. So yeah, that's just my advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudette. I must tell you that you've touched on such a beautiful subject about our health and wellness, and I can sort of relate because I'm a person who's very active within the library sector, and not too long ago I also was suffering with burnout as well. So yes, it's imperative for managers to rethink and to put our labor force at the forefront, because we are so focused only on our service delivery and customers and our normal operational matters that we tend to forget about our labor force. And yes, I can't agree more that as managers, we should be hosting a health and wellness workshop. We should be hosting even a stress workshop, whatever, or have team building exercises. I think is so important. And it's sad that managers are more focused on operational matters and not on the labor force.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity for us to rethink and try and change things. That's why I said it's so important for us to be innovative.
Yeah. I'm back in the day when I was in the public library services. All it was about was staff and numbers and delivering on that. But for me, if you have a happy librarian, you're gonna have a happy user. That is the bottom line with any job situation, I would think. If you're happily doing what you're meant to be doing, if you have the peace of mind and you have the mental wellness that is, that you're taken care of as an employee, you definitely will spill off into your work and to your service to your client. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudette. That is a good one. Vanessa was to be hosting a health and wellness workshop for LIASA. I'll make sure that she gets on the ball and do that as well. I've got a message here. Okay. Anyone else would like to share? This is such a beautiful platform to just share.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Vuyo.
Some of the challenges I've faced in the libraries are created because of the limited staff. I've heard you saying that we need to listen, we need to be kind. Yes, we need to, but when you are working under pressure and under you are limited staff, it's just you most hours in the desk. it creates an unkindness atmosphere, if I can put it like that. So you become moody because your body is tired. So if library managers can look also at that challenge of limited staff that has to be at the desk, sometimes you also have not to have tea time and all that. So if we can also look at that, because some of the challenges that we are facing, especially with regard to maybe not listening well or unkindness to our patrons, results to us being overworked. Thank you.
Thank you, Vuyo, for that. I think that's very important. This is why we share as well. Remember, Vuyo, you should be implementing is a timetable. You should be relieved. It is your right to be relieved as well. Well, tea is a privilege for us, right? But lunch is not a privilege. You are entitled to your lunch break. And you should actually maybe write a motivational letter to your manager stating exactly what you just told me now, and ask for a relief person for a rotation to occur. So it gives you some time as well. And remember, when you sit for too long as well, your body does not, your blood is not even circulating. If you go to banks now, you'll find most of them are actually standing. And the simple reason for the standing is because when you are sitting, you're not, there's no circulation. Your body tightens up, your shoulders become more tight and stressed out. Automatically, from your physical body being stressed, you are mentally stressed and exhausted. So that is why banks have got people on standing, for them to have that a bit of exercise, for them to move around so that they are not stressed. But your point is noted, and you should, I'm being very honest, to sit down with your manager in a respectful manner, write a respectful motivational letter as well, and asking for a rotation basis. And even if you're short-staffed, there should be something to say that we need another additional person because of so and so reasons. Even if they get a part-time worker, or even if you get voluntary helpers as well. And this is, I find a lot of libraries are not incorporating the voluntary helpers anymore. I know in the past, when I was young, and I'm 47, that was like 20-something years ago, 30-something years ago. I started at the library at 17. I was a volunteer helper at the library, and I never got paid. But at the end of that session, of that season, I got a reference letter. And we can also implement this in our libraries as well, where you try and get the youth to come in, let them volunteer, get some work experience, and give them a reference letter. This is something to ease people who are short-staffed. It does help if you get even your students coming in as library ambassadors as well, to come in and help. So think of different innovative ways to try and help your situation as well, because you'll get library ambassadors who want to, because they need to give a reference letter that they've provided a service at an institute. Try and look at those people as well. Thank you, Vuyokazi. Anyone else would like to contribute? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to... Yes, yes.
Yes, this is who is speaking.
Good, thank you, sir.
Yes, look, man, I just want to make a contribution with regards to what you touched on, which is, I think you talk about the consultation.
Yes.
Yes, so I think that is very, very much crucial because that is linked to the customer services. So
yes.
I will take it in the way of collaboration. It is very much important that we as libraries, we identify our stakeholders, and then we understand what is it that they need, because that will eliminate the frustration when we're supposed to give the service at the desk. So it is very much important that we form the collaboration. We understand what is it that is needed in our communities, For instance, I mean academic. So in academic, we have to form the collaboration in terms of department, faculties, as well as the support departments, so that at least they will understand what is it that we are providing as the library, because really we cannot behave in a way like we are in the independent on our communities. So we have to understand what is it that is needed by our community that we are serving. So I think that is very crucial, and it is linked to our customer services. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes. Anyone else? One last time, ladies and gentlemen, the platform is yours, and we close thereafter.
Hi, can I comment?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
It's Stella here. One of the challenges which it's still bothering me. There was one particular day when I was like assisting a student, and then he came with his friends, and then he was looking for a particular book. I was able to find the book, and I gave him all the details. And then he then left. His friends like called him, and then when he left the letter. Like I thought it was just a paper. When he left, and then when I took the paper, and then it was writing help. So I was confused. I didn't know whether the students was like seeking help or something. And then I tried to rush and see where they went. I couldn't find the students. But in the letter that she left, it was writing help. Like, and then I couldn't able to assist, and then it still bothers me. And the other issue, I'm in an academic institution, is that sometimes we share information with the academics, and then they will see the information, not act on it. And then by the time they are having issues, and then like when they publishing, they will then realize later that, look, we did have someone who presented on this information, maybe they can help. And then by the time they come to us, it is already late. Maybe they've already submitted their paper to a particular journal, maybe which is not covered by the transformative agreement, which is sometimes creates a lot of issues. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a close. You're more than welcome to contact me as well, because I am a Bartopello champion. If you need training as well for staff members, I don't mind coming through. I wish you well, and thank you for your participation. Good luck.